Ready? 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Cool. Welcome to Harping On. This is episode 5. But it's pretty good. 2 weeks I've been doing this, and it's episode 5 already.
And how many people have you been doing it with so far?
6. So I had episode 2 was me, Josh, and Shaq. So two guests, as it were.
Okay, cool.
And then you're on here. So it's a cool little format. We'll see what happens with it. See how we go.
I like it, but I don't like it.
Exactly. Where did that come from?
So, Dad worked with this lady, and I think she was Italian or German or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And he gave her a report or some kind of something at work for her to look at.
God, I can see what's going on.
she took it off him. She was like, I like it, but I don't like it. He was just like, what am I meant to do with that?
All right.
So now it's a ongoing phrase that we use a lot with everything.
So just for any possible thing.
So if you cook me dinner, I'd be like, I like it, but I don't like it.
It's some random shit that he just passes on to us that we don't know what it is.
I know.
But we end up repeating it.
There was one time he was talking about this lady who he worked with who was OCD. And he was talking sort of theoretically about doing this, but I missed that bit and genuinely thought he said he did this. So he was like, oh, imagine if I go to her desk and like take all the staples out the stapler and put them all over the desk. And I was like, you evil person. He was like, no, I didn't actually do it. I just thought about doing it because I thought it would be funny. And I was like, yeah.
Hang on. So he'd have the staples in the stapler and he'd punch them out onto the desk, or he's going to take them apart one by one and then place them on the desk.
So I don't know if that was an exact example, but he said like along those lines of just messing up her desk with some kind of stationery.
Because he just want to see her reaction.
Yeah, because she's OCD, so you just thought it'd be funny.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I thought it was quite funny.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, it's annoying you didn't actually do it. That would be pretty good.
I think you get fired.
Yeah. Part of the reason I wanted you on as well is because you are probably unique around the people I know for what you do for a living, because I don't know that many people who are similar to you. So for those who don't know, can you just tell whoever might be listening what it is that you do for work?
So I am a chef.
Mm-hmm.
I work at Wellington College, and so basically I feed the students that we have there. I've been chefing for about 6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's really good.
So how did you get your qualifications?
So I went to Reading College.
Yeah.
And you needed 3 NVQs, so I did 3 years worth of college. But the Reading College facilities were really, really good because you had a public restaurant in there.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have predominantly sort of older people would come in, but we would have people coming in. We would do the proper table service. You could book a table. We would do drinks behind the bar and everything, and then we'd have like a 3-course meal. Sometimes might be a 6-course meal or whatever. So that was the sort of the practical side of it.
Mm-hmm.
But then we would also have training in a separate kitchen once or twice a week, and then we would also have theory that we would do, so just paperwork and writing up recipes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was 3 years at Reading College, which was really, really good. Okay.
What did you go on to after that? What was like your first? What was the stage after that for you?
So, well, the first thing I wanted to do was to get a proper job in a kitchen. Mm-hmm. So I started off at My a la carte in Caversham. It was formerly My a la carte. It's not anymore.
Yeah. The only reason I'm asking is I forget like a lot of the stages you've done.
Well, yeah, I've done quite a lot. I've sort of flitted about. So I was a kitchen porter there for 2 weeks when I was about 16. And decided it wasn't for me. I wanted to do the actual cooking side of it. So I went to the Crown at Playhatch, and I was there for a year, and then went to another pub, went to Sunningdale Golf Club, came back to the Crown, and then I finally went to Benson after that. So I had a little gap, and then I went to work at RF Benson, and then went from Benson to Wellington just over a year ago now. So I've worked in quite a lot of different places and work experience as well. Like I've worked in Yattendon at a.
Did you say Yattendon?
Yattendon, yeah.
Let me just paint
this picture for you. This pub, Kate Middleton and her family, that was their local.
Yattendon.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't even sound English.
Wait,
hang on, is that the name of the pub? The pub.
No, the
pub
pub
or the place?
The pub was called the Potkiln Inn.
Okay.
But it was in Yattendon.
Where's that?
Yattendon, darling.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm asking, darling.
Near like
my geography's failing me.
I think it's near Bradfield. Thiel?
Okay. Oh, right, that way.
That kind of area. Yeah. It was in the middle of nowhere. The food was amazing though, really good. But yeah, I've done some weird and random jobs like that. So.
Yattenden, yeah.
Yeah. Yattenden, darling.
Yeah, I wonder how the hell you pronounce that.
I think it's Yattenden. Maybe, well, I pronounce everything wrong.
That's weird. That's a place to begin with a Y that comes from I say in Reading. That's a bit odd.
Yeah, I guess so. But
fair enough. All good. Excuse me. Sorry. So, what is your from what places you've been at before? Has it been the same role the whole way, or have you sort of changed roles as you've moved positions, places?
When I started my first sort of chef jobs.
Sorry, one second, it's a little bit wonky.
Okay.
Yeah, that didn't help it. Fuck it, we'll stay as it is.
When I first started my chef jobs, you always start at commis chef. That is the base that you start at.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you are an assistant to the chef de parties and the sous chefs around you, or that's the sort of basic ranks. They're in bigger kitchens and more sort of modern or Michelin star or whatever. You will have loads and loads of different ranks and a big brigade of people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you start commis chef, and then you can go to like senior commis chef, or normally you would go junior chef de party after you've done commis chef.
Mm-hmm.
So at the moment, I'm a junior chef de party, but it's been interesting because within the jobs, I've sort of shown the interest that I have in making desserts and cakes and breads and stuff. So they've always sort of tried to put me in that direction. So I would run the section as normal, like in the pub that I worked at. I'd have my own section to run. But I'd also do dessert specials and make breads for people for starters or whatever, or sides. So yeah, some jobs have been predominantly I'll just do desserts and then like some other things. But the job I'm at now, it's a real mix because there's so many people we have to feed. You could end up doing the functions in hospitality. You could end up being on a breakfast shift, so you've got to help get breakfast out because it takes 2 or 3 people to get that out. Mm-hmm. You could be on salads. You could be in the pastry for a bit. You could be just in the main doing prep or cooking the main meal. It just depends on what shift you're doing. But it's flexible and it keeps it interesting as well. So, yeah, it's really good.
Well, what's the... You say you have to feed a lot of people. How many students are there?
Oh, God, I'm really bad at this. I think overall we probably feed about 1,500 in total, I think. But I'm probably wrong with the numbers because also it changes every year depending on who we're having. And I guess this September, we'll see what happens with students and stuff. But
so what, for those who don't know, what kind of school is Wellington College?
So it's a public school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a tier above private schools.
Okay.
And it's well known for its sport, especially like cricket and rugby and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's an amazing place to work. You know, you sort of drive in, this big long drive, and it's like, it looks a bit like Hogwarts when you come in.
Because you were telling me a while back, when you first joined, the sort of people that have been there or do go there. Can you regale me with the sort of people who have been there? So,
so people like Will Young and his brother, the singer. Tolstoy even went there. Mm-hmm. James Hunt, the F1 driver, went there. Oh, God. There was a comedian that went there as well, but I can't remember what his name was. Rory Bremner? Is that a name?
Not ringing any bells to me.
Yeah, I think it was him. Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Apologies.
You might get shut down for that now.
Yeah. Rory, yeah.
But, yeah, you get quite a lot of prestigious people there. It's an amazing school. Really, really good. Really good. Good place to work. And there's probably about 20 plus chefs that I work with. So it's a big team. It's a big operation that we run. So yeah, it's really good. Really, really good.
Awesome stuff. No, I'm just curious because I know, obviously, having lived with you for most of my life.
Lucky you.
I know. Get all the.
Well, I'm like your private chef, basically.
Yeah, we don't pay you though, so you know. As we go.
Yeah, I actually pay to live here.
You get what you pay. You get what you pay for.
Just saying. That's a fair note, actually. I might have to talk to Mum about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the equality sort of balances out there, but you know, okay.
Just call it quits. I think it's fair.
So no change then. Yeah, I like it. It's a good move.
What were you going to say? You were saying about living with me and...
Yeah, no, I was just going to ask because obviously you most days you'll be the one cooking, but I thought what it was like for you to actually get to where you are now, and sort of all the different steps you do. Because we've I've forgotten what order everything happened for you, and I've forgotten some of the places you've already named for me. So I always just want to just find out again because I've forgotten quite a lot of it.
Wait, what did you want to know?
No, you've already told me. That's what I'm saying. I'm just repeating.
I thought you were
You want
saying.
to tell her?
I thought you were saying, can you tell me again?
Yes.
Because I've forgotten already, and I'm like,
can you list everything you've just told me, Louise? Again, I'll go to the shop and I'll get something. And then while I'm doing that, you can say it all over again.
Okay. No.
No. Are we boring you? Are we?
No, sorry. I'm just quite tired.
You're quite tired. Really, what have you done today? What's been so tiring today?
I just didn't get much sleep last night.
What happened?
I'm so bored all the time because obviously I'm off work. That nothing.
So it's not obvious to them. It's obvious to us.
Okay, well, yeah, I've been off work because of it's the school and it's been shut. But yeah, just not. With my job, it's so physically exhausting, and also I normally would get up about 5 every morning, and I'd be in bed by 8 and then sleep by 9. Yeah. So yeah, I would just used to get into bed and pass out. Whereas now, so I get into bed and 3 hours later, I'm still a bit like, oh, I'm actually really awake still.
Because what day did you get furloughed?
What date did I get furloughed? I think it was March. I did get furloughed.
Because you happened to you before me.
Yeah. So we finished work the 21st of March.
Okay.
And then when I got the letter, I think it's the 23rd of March we got furloughed. I think.
And what have they said for you to like a return date?
It's 10th of August, but things change, so hopefully that is the date. But we'll just have to see.
Well, that's going to be what you because what are you going to do between now and then? Because for the last 3 months we just come and keep ourselves occupied. Whereas what are you going to do with your time?
So, I sing and I play piano and I play guitar, but guitar not so well. But yeah, singing is my main instrument, and I am getting together all the software that I need to start producing and creating music. And I have been writing songs the last few months with my dad, and even my dad. That's your dad as well. I don't know if that. I know. But and obviously you've been getting involved with that a bit as well, and Amy has as well. So just trying to get as much of that in now before I go back to work, and utilize the time that I have wisely. So
have you found lockdown anyway?
I've thoroughly enjoyed it. At the end of the day, I've had 5 months off work.
You will have had 5 months off?
Yes,
work.
I will have.
Yeah.
I cannot think of anything better, to be honest. I mean, I'm in a good position, being furloughed, having a stable job, and also a good living environment. I mean, not with you, but everyone else.
You get to live with me. Of course, it's a good living environment. What are you talking about?
But yeah, just keeping, I've lost weight and exercising and so it's all been really positive for me personally. I know for some people it hasn't been, but I have thoroughly enjoyed it. It's like having a summer holiday again. Like I'm 16.
What's been what have you enjoyed most about it?
Working out with you.
Would you like to tell everyone what we've been doing?
So we've been
actually let's start. What were you doing?
Why don't you?
No. You're the recipient. You're the guest here. What were you doing what exercises were you doing beforehand?
Okay, so I was doing 3 days a week, I'd say. So sort of Monday, Wednesday, Friday I would normally do. I wouldn't do it on weekends. I'm depending on my shifts would be when I went and what I did, but most of the time it would be Monday leg and glutes. Wednesday would be back and buys, and then Friday would be chest, tries, and shoulders or something like that. And I was doing 4 sets of 10, and it got me thus far. And I'd been doing fasting as well, which has been really, really amazing, complete life-changing for me. But then when we started exercising, we did about 5-6 weeks, was it? In the beginning of me doing those exact not exact exercises, but those exact amount of reps that I was doing, those sets and those reps. And I just wasn't getting anywhere. Nothing was changing. And I think because my body sort of plateaued and became complacent because I wasn't changing it up. So then obviously you put together a plan of essentially push and pull days, I would say. And yeah, we were doing 5 days a week, So when I was at the gym, I was doing 3 days a week, and when lockdown happened, we did 5 days a week. So we were doing more days, but it still wasn't doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then when me and you changed, when you did the plan for me, doing push pull days, alternating for those 5 days, I felt a massive difference, because also we did 5 sets of 5. So we were gradually upping the weight every 2 weeks. We would then put a little bit more weight on everything, but stick to that 5 sets of 5, and it's made a whole difference for me.
So what's with a bit of the so talk about sort of like the stats that you follow and the machine that we use to track it all. So and the app that you use to track it all.
The fasting app?
No, the Tanita.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we have scales at home. Obviously mum's a nutritionist, so she uses it with her clients. But it basically breaks down your overall body weight. But I think a lot of people get sort of locked onto that, because that is not what you need to focus on. What you need to be able to focus on is your body fat. BMI, not so much. But
so you're saying that people focus too much on the losing weight in general?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've had it where I've lost weight. Well, I've lost body fat and gained muscle. Yeah. My weight's either remained the same or even gone up a bit higher. Mm-hmm. And anyone that's not breaking it down would look at that and go, "Oh my God, I've put on weight. This is terrible." Yeah, it's
not working. Yeah.
When actually, I've seen a lot of people that have put on weight but look smaller because they've got rid of that fat and they're then building up all that muscle. So I think it is really important, and a lot of people should use those. I mean, obviously they're a little bit more expensive, but I think they're worth the investment if you are looking to track your weight loss. Sorry, and your journey.
She's getting really bored.
I'm not bored.
My
bad. But yeah, I think it is really, really helpful and really useful just to sort of compare. And I do it weekly now. Before I sort of did it monthly, but I think weekly is good, because then you can see, rather than waiting for a month saying, "Oh, have I done well in a month?" That's sort of wasted time. You do it weekly, you can sort of say, "Well, I've eaten this week. Oh, that's why this has happened. So next week I won't do that, or next week I will do that, or change something else." So I think you're able to track it a bit better. But yeah, I have made quite a lot of progress with using that app.
So what's the biggest difference you've seen? In which particular areas on the app that they show you've seen the biggest difference from beginning of lockdown to now?
I guess, interestingly, the overall weight for me, purely because my muscle mass has stayed the same the whole time, and it only tells you your body fat percentage, doesn't tell you your body fat in kilos. So what I'm seeing from the overall weight is the kilos, and the muscle mass has stayed the same pretty much, maybe like 30 grams difference or something. So predominantly all that I've lost is either visceral fat or fat on other areas, but my visceral fat was low anyway. But I think that's definitely the main thing. So I've lost about 1.5 stone now.
Nice. And was that from the very start of lockdown, or was that from when we changed exercise?
So the 1.5 so it was a year ago that I weighed that. But then I properly started December time, trying to be a bit healthier, trying to go to the gym a bit more. And then January is when I started fasting, which was the main element for me.
So you've 1.5 since January?
Yeah.
Because that's when we started tracking it.
Yes.
Cool.
But it does say my June one was heavier than that. So I'd say about a year ago.
Okay, cool.
1.5.
Cool.
But I only started doing something about it in December, January. But yeah, the fasting is just the best thing.
So what do you do for fasting? How do you fast?
So for me, the best thing to do when you're starting is not put pressure on yourself to be fasting every day or doing really long fasts, because it's not attainable. Yeah. So I use an app called Zero, which is really, really good for fasting. And it also gives you the option, so you can start with something called the circadian rhythm. So basically when the sun comes up, when the sun goes down. So it's a 13 hour fast. And then you just, I think it's that, or it might be 12 and 12, sorry. 12 and 12.
Okay, yep.
So basically just means you do 12 hours eating and then you don't eat for 12 hours, which most of the time people do that anyway. But for me, I started with 16-8 because it sounded a bit more effective. It was going to challenge me a bit more. So basically I would do something like, 10 till 6 every day I would eat, which is the 8 hours. And then because I was going to bed early anyway, I would then have that 16-hour gap every day. And then I did that for about, I would say when lockdown started was when I switched to 18-6.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that for about 3 months. And I did fast majority of those 3 months, I would say. Because also on the app, it's really good because it will tell you, you know, how many fasts you've done, your streak, your longest fast that you've done, your average fast. And it's just a really easy way to track it. Whereas you just, and also to visually see your achievements and what you've done.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really, really important.
Yep.
But yeah, so then I moved on to 18-6, obviously fasting for 18, eating for 6. And then now I was on 24 for about 2 weeks. And I have done some 23-hour fasts as well here and there, just to reset my metabolism, basically, for when I've been losing the weight. But now I am in a good position because I've got to my goal weight. So for me, I'm not going to be too hard on myself. I'm still going to carry on doing what I'm doing, still aiming to lose a bit more and get to where I want to be exactly. Still working out. But I think because I'm getting busier as well now, and I will when I get back to work, it'll be like just depending, you know, someday I'll do a 16-8, someday I'll do a 24, someday I'll do an 18-6. So I think the main thing about weight loss is to not be hard on yourself, which is so easy to do, and I've done it so much. But when you start, you know, when you properly get in the zone and start, you know, I've realised now that I can have a slice of cake if I want to, but not every day, you know.
Well, I was going to say how have you found sticking to it, but you kind of already answered that question already.
Yeah.
Most of that there. That's good. That's good to know because it's something I started doing myself quite recently, and yeah, it's hard to begin with, but you certainly get the results happen real quick. Yeah, way quicker than you expect. Yeah,
especially when you start. And I think the main thing as well for me that was really interesting and really nice was that you don't have to be 100% strict on your food. Now, I'm not saying eat pizza and KFC every day because you're still not going to get the benefits.
Yeah.
Because your body's still going to be toxic inside, even if you did lose weight.
Yeah.
But it's the first thing that I found that to me is a lifestyle. It's not a fad diet. It is a lifestyle. And there's a lot of other benefits as well to fasting. But I think, yeah, the main thing is that you can be lenient with what you eat if you're strict within those hours.
Well, I think that's where people get, you know, where people get frustrated and see little, you know, results from diets being whatever, 5-2, Atkins, whatever. It's because it's a diet as opposed to this is how I'm going to live to be sustainable and to, you know, have long-term effectiveness out of it. Because it's a diet by, you know, the definition of everything here is, well, the definition of what it's become is just, oh, here's a new thing to try. And you'll do it for a couple of weeks and be like, oh, that's not working. But it's because it doesn't, you only stick it for a couple of weeks and excuse me, there's something else for like consumerism has turned up.
Well, it's the thing, and it's just about the hours. It's not like you shouldn't eat this, you shouldn't eat this, you shouldn't eat this, you need to eat this, you need to count your calories, because it is exhausting. I mean, I did keto for a week and I just thought I was going to die. Like, it was just, and it's not sustainable. Whereas with this, I have fasted probably 90% from January to now, which is the 1st of July. Like, and I don't even have a day where I think, oh, I you know, I'm not enjoying this, I hate it, why am I, you know. Yeah. It is a part of my life, and I will fast, even if it's not every day, even if it's every other day, eventually, or whatever I decide to do, or if it's just 16-8 all the time. But I will stick with it because it increases longevity in life. Yeah. Expels cancerous cells. Just so many benefits. So many, you know, like eating healthy is good, but I think they come hand in hand. And I think also enjoying food, that is the key thing.
It's like my mum's always saying, we're just saying that food, I say always, she said before, so the food in and of itself is not inherently good or bad. It's just how and when you choose to use it. Because, you know, I was talking to you about a chocolate bar. And if you sit on the sofa all day and eat a chocolate bar, or eat more than one, then obviously it's going to be shit for you. But if you're going up a mountain on a hike, you need all the chocolate bars you can have because you need all that sugar to keep the blood sugar levels going up and keep it all pumping around the body and all that sort of stuff, because you're burning it all off and you just need that fuel so it doesn't burn you off. Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's interesting. I think also people's perceptions of what is healthy and what isn't. I think there's a lot of sort of old information that people still think is true. It's like that old thing about breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Of course, and why? And that's right, because you should get up and have your toast, get up and have your cereal, and who bears from that? The fucking food industry, or the cereal, Kellogg's, all that sort of crap. Of course, they're going to tell you, to eat more because they make more money out of it. No company is going to promote fasting because they're like, they're not going to be like, you know what, we make food, but we're going to encourage you to eat less food. That's a good model for us. People are like, what? No, so that's, of course they're going to tell you, breakfast is the most important meal of the day because you're going to consume more. It makes them sell more money.
I think this is another thing.
Sell more money? Yes, I'm going to stick by that. They sell money. That's what the cereal industry does. That's their whole plan, Louise.
But I think that's what's interesting is that people think that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And I've spoken to people sort of saying, oh yeah, well I don't eat. I will never eat before I work out. And they're like, oh my God, you don't have any energy. How do you do that? And I'm like, really, absolutely fine, actually. Thank you. But also the thing is that, I have tons of energy, but also if you're starting your day with food and then you exercise, all you're going to do is burn off the food that you've just consumed.
Yeah, you're not going to burn off.
So nothing is going to change.
Or even if if your goal was to burn it off, if your goal is to lose weight, you're absolutely right. Whatever exercise you do, is actually going to burn off that food that was consumed as opposed to the actual fat you want from your body. But even if you don't want to do that, even just for a performance side of it, like do a shout out to Ben Black. Whenever we used to do like MMA training, he did like 3 or 4 times, and each fucking time he turned up and he'd be like, I've just had a banana. And we'd be like, fine. And then he trained, and without fail, he'd throw up. But we're doing like circuit training and like sparring, and then he's eating a banana like an hour before he turns up. So he's in the corner being sick. But it's just the same thing. Like even if you go weight training, if you go running, do a spin class, if you eat something beforehand, you at the very least you're not going to feel good because you're going to feel it in your body, just like I'm doing all this movement. Like imagine doing like burpees if you have your hands that, or like a shit ton of crunches.
No,
it's not going to be good.
No, but I think it is better for your body if you're in a fasted state to work out.
Absolutely, and as we've discovered, if you're in a fasted state when you exercise, those areas that you specifically target inadvertently end up burning more fat anyway, because you aren't burning, well, there is already any food or sustenance. It turns that area that you're focusing on, it burns that fat.
Yeah, because your body has the time. Yeah, your body has the time to. It's not doing anything else. So to focus on, if you're doing abs. Yeah. Because I watched a video the other day. One of the Zero fasting app guys. And he was talking about how people say that you can't target an area to fat burn, which most of the time is true. But he said if you're in a fasted state and you do it like ab exercises, you are targeting that area because your muscles are able to fat burn in that area, and your muscles are working, and it's really interesting. So and I'm full of energy. I might have a black coffee or something if I'm really tired, meant sort of if I'm sleepy rather than physically tired. But most days I don't really bother, to be honest.
Yeah, well, you don't need it. I mean, with the alacrity that you wake Amy up every day, or try and wake her up, I'm going to vouch for that, how much energy you have, which I'm sure she appreciates, don't you, Amy? You love it when she wakes you up.
She absolutely loves it.
It's her favourite thing.
But I think also another thing as well is like, you don't need to take all these BCAAs. You don't need to take all these pre-workout. I mean, it completely depends on what workout you're doing, and if you're bodybuilding.
I'll go return on my steroids then.
Yeah, I would. But I think for general working out, you don't need to put all this stuff in your body, because I think it can be calorific, and like Mum said, if I was going to go do a marathon or a really, really, really intense, I don't know, circuit training or CrossFit or something like that, then I could have a little bit of that, but it's just not necessary for me because it's quite short burst exercises.
And it depends what it is. The main purpose of a lot of these is to replace the energy and the minerals and vitamins you need from food. So if you're having the food required for it, you don't really need it. It's more like and also it depends what you're doing. It depends if you're going to go, if you're going to do boxing, maybe pre-workout's good for you. If you're going to do powerlifting, pre-workout probably could be useful for you. If you want to just lose weight, then you're right, you don't really need it because
it's extra calories.
And it's that, and it's also, it's not. It's it's the wrong fuel because you don't need to have all this crazy energy if you just want to lose a bit of fat.
Yep.
Because you're still giving your body something extra to do. Whereas it's just if you're just doing squats, lunges, and leg raises, you can just wake up, have some water, and get cracking.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's the sort of short burst movements, isn't it? And it's not like a high intensity
not at all.
interval training or anything like that.
Well, it's like, I mean, I'll go back and forth. I think the reason why I don't like talking about high intensity stuff is because I think I just don't like doing it.
I don't like doing it.
I'm not a huge fan, but I like circuit training. Circuit training is fun.
Yeah, I like weighted circuit training like we've done before. That is good, but yeah, I've tried HIIT. I'm never doing it again.
I'm trying to think even back to
this is when you say I like it but I don't like it.
Nah, I can't do the Vote accent though.
I like it but I don't like it.
Cool. Well, I'm trying to think back to my even judo, MMA training. It was never. Was it high intensity? I mean, kind of. I mean, it's a different thing though, because I mean, like the hardest thing I ever did was one where it was like there was 14 stations in the gym, so you got 14 different boys to do, and each of them was a kickback. So you got to do a different thing on each bag.
Oh God.
But within, so you've got 2 minutes on the timer, you just got to do that same thing for 2 minutes. But then between each of those two stations, the instructor made us do 50 squat thrusts and then just keep going. So it took us, no one really stopped for, 2 times 14, 28, and then you've got, however, probably take you probably the same amount of time in there. So yeah, an hour to do that whole circuit.
Sounds horrific.
Oh yeah. But I don't know if that class is high intensity because you see all these HIIT classes now, and it's
very short.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe. I mean, that work. I think that's different as well because it's sort of functional stuff. So you're punching, elbowing, kicking, whatever, that sort of stuff is quite cool. As opposed to just ones where you get someone at the front and you got nothing but one of those little planks in front of you, and you're doing like squats, lunges, push-ups, jumps. I don't know. I think past a certain amount of training, and past a certain amount of time, you just kind of burn out, and it can become sort of lack of efficiency, sort of counterproductive what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, I would agree. And like you always say, you always want to leave some fuel in the tank.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Because that's the thing, because I used to think that I needed to get hot and sweaty and bothered and exhausted and red in the face when I went to the gym. But then I realised I didn't need to be like that.
You don't need to, no. Well, you don't need to. You can build up to it where you get to a point where you're pushing yourself. But I mean, like.
But that was more just doing cardio at the end of a session, which I don't do cardio. I mean, I go for nice long walks out in the open air. Yeah. But I wouldn't run on a treadmill.
No,
I just think, why don't you go run around a field?
Yeah, don't waste your time on a treadmill.
Stationary, you're running. I just don't see how that's a good impact for your body as well.
You're running, and it's bringing the road to you. If you go do like a treadmill, you just want to push by yourself.
Yeah, they're really cool. They're good.
Or you just say go outside.
Yeah. It just has always baffled me because I'd always use a cross trainer or something like that, or I do an incline on the treadmill. But I mean, I just get bored.
Yeah, that's another reason why I like running outside, because if you are by yourself, at least you get a change in terrain and a change in environment. But the good thing about being outside as well is you can run with someone else. Yeah. And you can, even if you don't talk,
chat.
Well, yeah. Oh, stop. What's the point? Oh. Even if you're
not interval, I guess.
But you don't stop. You just slow down. But even if you're not talking, you just got that company of someone else.
But I think also you're not staring at a wall.
Yeah, or on some shitty TV screen you can't hear. You're like,
with subtitles on. And it's horrible.
I obviously hope my gym's still there, but I think as soon as you go and you got all the cardio stuff, I think it's a dying breed personally. Yeah. I think you're gonna have more CrossFit stuff. Okay. So you still get the elevated heart rate, but it's incorporate that with resistance. Okay. Yeah. I think you'll have that. You'll have like the Zumba classes or whatever they're called, all that sort of stuff. I think they're pretty good. Like the bikes and the treadmills and the cross trainers.
What is the point in a stationary bike? What is the point?
I do, but I did enjoy that. There was people who were going to people who drive to my old gym, get out their car, go inside, and then run. And I'm there like, what the...
You just think you could have just run to the gym and run home for free.
Exactly. You're paying to. I was like, all right, fine.
You know, because for me, at least when I pay to go to the gym, it's literally up the road. So it's not far, but I need that equipment there.
Hell yeah.
And obviously we've been really fortunate with what we do have. But
but we need we haven't got a squat rack.
Yeah.
We haven't got a big pull-up bar set. We haven't got all the extra weights because the number one is that squat rack.
Yeah. So when I go back to the gym, when I've got that squat rack,
queue out the door for that squat rack.
I know.
I can't wait to see all those big dudes who spent like the last 4 months by the time they open again, not being able to exercise. Like, because there's some people who wear tanks and will come back and they'll look like me.
Yeah, but you kind of think people like that will have some form of gym at their home as well.
Yeah, they'll find a way. Yeah, they're not going to let that just go away.
They'll, I don't know.
Yeah.
They will find some. They will pay through the nose or something stupid to get what they need to get.
God, expensive. 10-kilo kettlebell was 60 fucking quid.
I know. I was looking at them earlier.
I still get it, but I was there like 60 quid.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
Dude.
But yeah.
See how long you can go without saying something.
Are we finished?
Do you want to be finished?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Cool. Excellent. Thank you for your time, Lou.
Thank you for your time.
A pleasure.
Brilliant.
See you later.
It was good fun.
Thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye now.